Angela, what kind of agreement could be reached in Brussels? Because there's a lot of opposition, isn't there?
Yes, it's likely that they will agree, but because it has been somewhat diluted, as is the way with European Union deals. The Commission is proposing that there should be a 15% across the board drop in consumption, that all the EU countries should agree to reduce their consumption. And there has been a certain amount of disagreement over that. Obviously, the northern countries, which are more heavily dependent on the whole on Russian gas, are keen for that. Southern countries, particularly Spain and Greece, Spain, which takes very little Russian gas, and Greece, which thinks it could cope fairly well without, are against that bigger reduction. And so there's a fair amount of disagreement there. Italy, interestingly, amongst the southern European countries, does import a lot of Russian gas. The two countries that are the big importers of Russian gas are Germany and Italy within the European Union. Now, the European Union is also proposing that this should be voluntary, but that it should be able to make it mandatory if a state of emergency is declared. It's not clear whether it would be the Commission or an individual member state who declares that there is an emergency situation. So that, too, is to be discussed today. It's important to remember, of course, that Germany is heavily dependent on Russian gas. Its industry is extremely dependent on Russian gas. And if Germany's and its economy is hit badly, then the whole of the European Union would suffer. So that's a key factor which will be driving all their decision-making this afternoon. The German government has already asked its citizens to make sacrifices, to try and reduce consumption, to take shorter showers, for example. And it's hoped that the idea, of course, is to try and conserve as much gas as possible ahead of the winter.
Apart from this deal today, I mean, what other options are there for cutting gas?
Well, they have been trying to import from other sources, the European Union, but that is sort of reaching a threshold. There have been imports from Azerbaijan, from North Africa, from Norway, but it's quite difficult to import liquid natural gas. You need special terminals. It's not something that can be organised overnight, and they've pretty much reached the limit of what they can do there. Aside from that, they will probably end up asking citizens to ration because it's important to build up ahead of the winter. 40% of Europe's gas comes from Russia. That's a huge percentage. So the European Union really has to address this. There are optimists in this who say that while Putin has clearly tried to sow chaos within the European Union and within the West, it's possible that instead of that, he might end up by ending the EU's dependency on Russian gas, which in the long term is not very useful to Russia, and indeed also accelerate the European Union's advance towards doing away with fossil fuels, which again, long term in terms of having a more sustainable economy would be perhaps a good thing. So there is a possible optimistic spin on this, but it's very difficult to see the way through for the European Union.
Angela, thanks very much. Angela Diffley from our International Affairs Desk. And of course, we'll follow that story during the day for you on France 24, let you know exactly what's been decided.